Hi,
deal.
I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6 Central Kentucky TV, Community Focus on Washington County. And we are delighted to have today with us our guest, Richard Medley, who was the 2018 Agriculture Lifetime Achievement Award winner. That's a mouthful, Richard.
I understand.
And here it is, 2019 now, and the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, Springfield Washington County Chamber of Commerce is getting ready to have the awards banquet for this year's recipients of that award and others.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we've been trying to get you on the air for a while now, and so
Yeah.
welcome. And
Well, I appreciate being here, Lisa. It's
and
good
Richard,
to be here.
you know, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, not only did you receive the Lifetime Achievement Award, but you received the Agriculture, what was it?
Leader of the Year.
Leader of the Year in 2013.
13, yes.
So you're quite an agriculture man, Richard. So
Uh,
tell me how that is.
Well, Lisa, agriculture is just kind of my thing. It's been part of who I am since the days that I can remember. Grew up, from Springfield, Washington County. My granddad had a farm. As early as I remember being able to go out on the farm with him, and it was just things that I like to do, just being outside and being able to, as I got older, ride the tractors, check on the cattle. I just kind of fell in love with being outside and being a part of the farm. And so as far back as I can remember, agriculture and farming is just who I've been.
Yeah. Your grandfather was who?
Bill Medley. He passed away
yeah.
about a year ago, and we miss him
Wonderful
dearly.
man.
He
Worked at the post office.
Yeah, he graduated.
Farmed.
He was one of my inspirations of life. He farmed, worked at the post office, as you said, but he also, in the midst of those two jobs, also retired from GE, all three at one time. And so he was quite the workaholic.
My gosh.
I believe that a lot of
How in the world?
It's I don't see how he did it. He would just burn the midnight oil, as you would say, and I credit a lot of my work ethic and time of just learning from him.
Yeah.
And just trying to follow in his footsteps. Him and my dad have taught me a lot along
And
the
your
years.
dad.
Yeah, Mike. Yep. And so he's
Who worked
been,
for,
Yep.
who farmed
yeah.
and also worked for Joe Pad,
Yep.
Hayden
And he-
as Springfield,
Heating and
Heating
cooling.
and cooling.
Yeah, he's done that forever. And
retired just recently from
yeah, and he does a little stuff on the side, and I mean he stays busy. And now he says that his job is me and my brother both like to farm, so his full-time job now is being the ranch hand for me and my brother. So he
And I'm
likes
sure
to see
he
us.
loves that.
He's a good helper, I tell
Yeah.
you. You can't find better help. So
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can't
he's a worker too.
and you can't complain much at all.
That's
So
right. No.
he does an excellent job, and he's taught me and my brother a whole lot along the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, certainly taught you a really great work ethic.
yeah,
And of course, you just have in you that blood of farming.
yeah, and one of the things that I think I'm fortunate of is from my family, I was able to actually almost 10 years ago now, I bought my farm, which came from my grandfather. So it's been in the farm for 3 generations now. But I was able to buy it from him, and now that he's not with us, it's extra special to me to see what I've been able to do with that. And I remember he was nervous as heck when he sold it to me. He just thought that was a whole lot of money, but he didn't want to give me a discount. So, but I look back and it's something that hopefully one day that I can keep in the Medley family and pass down to somebody else. So
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And so now, on your farm, what do you have?
Well, what we do, of course, I have my best helper, my wife Molly. She helps me a lot. But
And she's a full-time school teacher.
Yeah, she's a teacher.
And mother.
She's quite the busy lady.
That's right.
So she's, we do beef feeder cattle. We own 170 acres. We've got 2 different farms now, and but we usually keep about 400 head on hand, and we do it mostly in a grazing situation. And so I tell my wife that my second full-time job is the one I enjoy, which I love my job during the day, but I have that job so I can afford to farm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I really do. It's just something I like to do, and some people like to golf, and my relaxation after work is going out and being on the farm, working with my cattle, and just being outside. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to do.
Yeah, yeah. Despite the weather?
Oh, well, don't. I haven't been in the brightest of spirits here in the last 2 months with all the rain and mud, but
Yeah.
not that I'm counting, but I think we're only just a few days over 50 days before spring gets here, so I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Oh, be planting time soon. Well,
Yeah, it
do you
is.
plant?
No, we just graze cattle, so we just want the grass to grow. So
Yeah.
hopefully, we get some.
Well, the
warm weather
grass is
and-
growing.
It's crazy. I know. It's been quite the year. Nobody's ever going to remember something like this.
Yeah.
So,
But now then you've got your day job,
yes, ma'am.
which is,
I'm the vice president of credit at Ag Credit in Lebanon. We're a cooperative here in Central Kentucky. We have 7 offices, and I'm the vice president of Lebanon. We're a $500 million organization here in Central Kentucky, and like I said, I work in Lebanon. And
so this is where the farmers go to get their loans.
Yep. We think that we have a very important role in not only our own farm operations, but every farm operation. Capital farming is a very capital-intensive occupation. So having the money is very important, and so we pride ourselves in what we do every day. We go to work to provide reliable and consistent credit to the American farmers. In a nutshell, is what we do every day. And
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to been able to graduate the University of Kentucky with a degree in agriculture and ag economics, to be able to come back home in my home community and be able to go to work. I've been there for 11 years, going on 12, and they always say time flies when you're having fun. So I like what I do every day. Working with farmers is a special job. They're inherently some of the best people that you'll interact with.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that, not only as a farmer, but just in dealing with people over time. And they just have the will to persevere.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, I think that comes from their ancestors, settled here because of their love for the land. And I think that is, when you talk about farmers, you can't help but realize their love of the land. Most of the time. Now, I
Right.
can't say 100% of the time.
well, you're correct. Most
yeah.
of the time. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And so you have a desire to, just how blessed we are to live in Washington County. I'm not a farmer, but I certainly love to be able to drive out the road and see the cows and the farmland surrounding me, and how beautiful it is.
Yeah,
The horses and,
I echo exactly what
I
you're
can't
saying.
say the pigs thrill me too much.
Well,
But I do like that pork to eat.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're very blessed to live here in Washington County. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's just, you drive a couple miles outside the city, you can see some of the most beautiful sights.
Yeah.
A lot of people take that for granted, and people who live in bigger cities, and they don't understand that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I feel fortunate.
And so, do you feel like, in your position, I'm sure you see, I think in Washington County, the number of farmers is maybe increasing?
It's kind of it's funny that you asked that question. It's kind of unique. I feel like we're actually getting more farmers because there's a group of younger farmers that have a desire to come into the business. And several colleagues throughout of our 17 counties in Kentucky just talk about the number of young farmers that they see us have as a customer base is just unreal, because they just don't have them in a lot of other parts of our territory, which goes from Lebanon to Paris, Lexington area. I mean, they just don't see them. And so I think there's just a lot of people that want to farm, and a lot of young people that are taking the chance to do it.
Uh-huh.
And so it's been nice.
They are doing small farms.
Yep.
So we don't have these big, huge conglomerations, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually some bigger farmers than you think in Washington County, but for the most part, it's the guy who's just starting out and has 25, 30 cows and maybe a few acres of tobacco, which that's kind of going by the wayside, or maybe even doing a few vegetables. I mean, we kind of have a very diverse group of farmers in Washington County, and it's very good for the economy, for the farmers market and different things. And so there are those opportunities to be able to farm and just have some of that land, but also, and most of them too, they're not doing it full time, but they go to work every day, but their relaxation is going on the farm also. So
Yeah.
we kind of have a smorgasbord here. It's
Well, isn't that nice?
yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And so, like now, we've got a big Future Farmers of America program, FFA. And do you think that is one of the reasons that, we've got such a good young group getting into farming, or?
Yeah, I would give Mr. Mattingly a lot of credit out there. I mean, he's grown the program. Of course, before him, it was Donna Remington, and I'm a product of FFA, so I kind of have a biased opinion. But
it's a big group.
It's been a good organization. That probably one of the best things I've ever been involved in my life, because it teaches you a lot of things early on in life that you necessarily wouldn't interact with. It teaches you about leadership and record keeping and things that will make you be hopefully a better part of your community wherever you end up down the road. And so I think it's been a very big part of helping me become who I've been.
Yeah.
And it's a very good organization.
Well, people don't realize that, to be a farmer, you don't just put a few cows out there in the field. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work.
Yeah.
First of all, money.
Yeah. The funny thing about farming is you're not only a farmer. You're an accountant. You're a bookkeeper. You're partly an attorney, because you're trying to figure out there's legal things that you're encountering, and you're kind of doing a lot of everything that people just don't realize. And
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whenever you can say you're a part of that and it's for you and you see yourself growing something, in my opinion, there's just no better feeling than being able to see something like that grow.
Yeah. Do you think, Richard, are there some things that farmers need to be working on, or things that you're concerned about, or I'm sure you have some ideas on those things, being in your leadership position.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I mean, if you read any headlines or out in the farming community, I mean, the last few years with the weather and different things, farmers have had a tough year. I mean, that's just part of the nature of farming. There's just a lot of things that are just out of a producer's control. I mean, there's this trade war that's been going on for several months.
That's really
the bottom line of a lot of farmers, and there's no business in which you can predict the future. If that was the case, we obviously wouldn't be here. But there's a lot of things, unforeseen things, that can impact farmers, and so there's been a lot of things happen. But like I said earlier, farmers inherently want to persevere, and I just think it's important to as the lender coming out in me is just as people, if they are experiencing any kind of problems or just have questions or concerns, the best thing they can do is go in and just talk to your lender. Give them an idea of what's going on. The last thing they want to do is find out after it's too late. People can work with people and do a lot of things, but communication is the key in any situation of which whenever people are nervous or there's a little bit of adversity. So
yeah,
and most people are doing that. Like I said, most people are determined they'll be fine. And,
yeah.
It's important to, in the next little bit, just be cautious of spending extra and trying to cut costs if you can.
Yeah. Now, so we also have, well, I guess we don't have right now in our county an agriculture extension agent. Since Rick Greenwell has retired, he hasn't been replaced yet, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
And so, farmers could go to their agent agriculture agent and get some advice on
Yeah, and that's very important. I'm glad you brought that up. It's important that, hopefully in the future we can gain back that ag position, because we're a farming community, and the ag agent at the university extension service is a conduit of information coming from the university's research farms. And so there's a lot of information that I'm not saying we're missing out on, but it's good to have that champion in your community to be able to pick up and help these young people. I will have to give Rick, a lot of credit. He was a mentor of mine, and I worked under him for a summer, and he had the best interest of a lot of Washington County farmers in his mind every day. That's what he did, and he wanted to see fit that Washington County young farmers had a chance. He wanted to be there to give them advice, and so hopefully as we move on, we can gain that position back. Yeah. I know Dennis, the Horde agent, he's doing a good job of filling in, but he's almost stretched too thin to be able to do both, and so it's it's important that we advocate for that.
Yeah, yeah. And so, do you have any advice? Of course, things are pretty tight right now with our with our tariff situation and soybeans, I guess, because we have a lot of soybean growers around here, right?
Yeah, there's been a few people that's are doing different things.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of the nature. You hate to see that, but it's just part of the attrition, and some people are retiring, and but it's it's a tough time.
I enjoyed hearing Mary McCain speak
at
yes, the breakfast, the Farm
Bureau, Farm City breakfast. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And of course, they had been in a lot of different aspects of farming, and they had gone into organic farming and things like that. And so, do you see a future in that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think there is a future in that. The consumers definitely want it. It's kind of funny that you asked. One of the first farming products I did was I decided when I got out of school, I put out an acre of strawberries, and I didn't know what I was getting into. And but I got into it and realized there's a big market for vegetables and fruit, and people want a locally sourced, good quality product. And it was a lot of work, but it was very rewarding to do that. It was good financially, but it just got to be it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work,
but it's very important, and I think there's a big opportunity, with where we live and a lot of the access to, we got the bourbon boom in Bardstown. We're an hour from Louisville and Lexington. We're not far from a lot of population centers to where we can feasibly be able to market to those people. And, there's a lot of those farmers markets in those towns, and even here, which you can reach out and sell those products, and it's a way of the future. Some people. The word farmer has changed so much, just in the 12 years that I've been working doing my job. But 12 years ago, it was the guy growing corn, growing tobacco, putting out a few cows. Now it very well might be the guy who does an acre of lettuce or has the greenhouse and wants to do lettuce or tomatoes. And so it's just an interesting dynamic that's taking place.
And and you're seeing those. Or our alpaca farms.
Yep, I forgot about them. You're correct.
So we had a whole alpaca trail, and but I know we've lost one of our alpaca farms not too long ago, and but that's quite an interesting venture.
Yeah.
So so we are diverse, as you said, and that's really, I think, pretty impressive of Washington County.
It is. You just don't want to see. It's good to see the diversity, because if you're in a single industry and that experiences a downturn, it can be very financially a burden on people.
Yeah.
And so it's good to see, and that also plays into effect the retailers, the ag retailers, everything. So they like to see the diversity. We as a loan company want to see the diversity. That way you're always able to there should be an industry that is doing good.
Yeah. So, well, and I'm sure that you've got a lot of things coming up, and I know you'll be a part of the Chamber
Yes, ma'am.
Awards night.
Yep, we actually sponsor the Ag Leader of the Year award. As an office, we choose to do that. We like to recognize the leaders in the ag community, and so yeah, once again, we're committed to doing that, and we're looking forward to naming the next person. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of good people, and a lot of good people that do a lot for the ag community that may not get recognized, but it's good to see them on Chamber Night for the
Yeah.
community to acknowledge and realize that ag's a big part of Washington County.
yeah. Well, Channel 6 will be covering it, I'm sure, and we'll be there, and I'll look forward to interviewing the next
Yeah, exactly.
Agriculture Award winner.
Yeah,
Lifetime Achievement Award, and what was this other one?
Oh,
The
Ag Leader of the Year.
Ag, but you all don't sponsor it. Someone else sponsors that one.
We do
the
that
Ag-
one, and then the
Ag Leader.
Farm Bureau does the Agriculture Achievement Award. So,
Okay, yeah.
so it's I'm glad that we have those as
Oh,
part of
yeah.
the community.
Yes, indeed. Well, I want to thank you, Richard, for being a part of the community, and congratulations to you on both your awards.
Well,
And thank you for being being here today. And I know that's a little tough on you, but
Yeah, it's fine.
you're one of our county leaders, and so we appreciate it. That
no
you,
problem. I'm glad to be here, and like I said, representing ag, as an industry in Washington County, and as Ag Credit working in Lebanon and service in Washington County. Just good to represent the ag field, and kind of what I like to just think when I wake up every day and do what I do. It kind of goes back to that one quote that I can remember, and it's something that I won't never forget. And it says, if you like what you do every day, then you never work a day in your life. And so, when I'm in the ag industry, both my personal self and my job during the day, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah,
So I appreciate it.
that's great.
So
Thank you again.
good deal. Thank you very much.